if you have no yirat shamayim, you have no fear of the Almighty that's watching you at all times, then it's very easy to lose control. It's very easy to start acting and doing everything according to your desires. And Hashem is telling you that from your simple lack of yirat shamayim, your simple lack of appreciation, not even saying modeh ani in the morning, you could easily get to a point of making one of the worst sins in the Torah, which is committing murder of hundreds of millions of souls on a daily basis. Now, this control is something that's not easy to attain after we are tainted with the immodesty of the world, but it's not impossible either. It's very few things that someone needs to do. Sometimes someone is trying to, obviously he's not doing it intentionally anymore. Baruch Hashem, they watch the shiurim, they're scared, they're looking to do TeShuva, they stop, but they still have some things that they're not in control over, like for example when they go to sleep. So there's a few things that someone needs to do. First and foremost, obviously, the most important beginning stage is you have to watch your eyes. If you watch immodesty, whether it's live, in the world that you live around, every time you see a woman, you're like one of these, toys you buy at the baseball games with the bobbleheads. You look at everything that walks, you're going to waste seed. Whether intentionally or not intentionally, you look at women, even if you're looking at modest women. If every time a woman moves, if she's modest or not modest, if you look at every single woman or a lot of women, you're going to waste seed. Your imagination is going to do its thing. You're going to imagine the modest woman that you're seeing at the Bet Knesset like the immodest woman you saw before you did TeShuva. So first and foremost, you have to start watching your eyes. Start getting used to looking at the floor. Start getting used to training yourself that every time you see a woman, you see what you need to see, which is saying hello if you need to say hello, and then looking away, or looking into nothing. Sometimes I could look straight at you. This is Baruch Hashem, takes some time, but I could look straight at you, but I'm not really looking at you. I'm looking, you see me as looking at you, but I'm really looking on top of your head or on the side of your head. I'm not really looking at your face. And that's necessary not for men, it's necessary for women, because sometimes I can't really look at them. So, now if I looked at the floor every single time, people are like, is there something wrong with you? Are you looking for something? Did you lose keys? What happened? So you have to train yourself. So first and foremost, you have to train your eyes. And it's not easy, but it's possible. Number one. Two, you have to make sure that you're not one of these people that curses every 2 seconds. You have to start watching your mouth. If you speak like a truck driver, this one level of immodesty leads to another. Step number 3, you have to make sure that you're not putting yourself at risk at all times. If your surroundings are constantly immodest places, you're going to have an impossible time being modest. Whether it's because your meetings always have to take place at a bar. There's a lot of networking events that happen in bars, or different gatherings where pretty much, everyone shows up half naked on the female side and 3-piece suits on the male side. Each one is trying to dress to impress, hoping that they bring someone home instead of the business. You have to stay away from stuff like that. Someone wants to meet you, meet them at a coffee shop. Meet them at your office. You don't need to go to those places. You don't need to go there. There's plenty of ways you can make business without necessarily putting yourself in a place that's full of immodesty. I understand people think, oh wait, but maybe I'm going to lose an opportunity. Well, yeah, if you don't believe in God, then yes, you'll lose an opportunity. But if you believe in God, then God knows that you're not going there, not because you don't want the business. You're not going there because you don't want to see immodest women. So He'll give you the business other ways. If you believe God runs the world, you have nothing to worry about. So, watching your eyes, watching your surroundings, watching your mouth, and last but not least, choosing your friends. If all of your friends are lifetimes away from you, where their idea of fun is going to strip clubs and bars, which you used to do before you went and did TeShuva, then you have to lose those friends. Or get them to do TeShuva. Whichever happens first. If you can't get them to do TeShuva, you have to lose your friends. eventually the stronger your tshuva is, the more that relationship is going to lose its meaning, because you're going to have less and less in common. So the point of all of this is to understand that Hashem is telling us here, this one of the first 7 mitzvot that we've gotten in the world is a critical mitzvah. Don't waste seed. You learn it from Noach. I destroyed the world because of this. But the only reason why it got to such a high level sin is because people could not control themselves. A very, very simple thing to do if you start with the right foot. If you teach your kids from the beginning, from when they're 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 years old, that they have to have structure, they have to say thank you, they have to wash their hands, they have to keep their hygiene, they have to pray, they have to study, they have to do all these different, if you teach them structure, but with a meaning, that you're doing it for something, you're doing it for someone, you're doing it for Hashem, you're not doing it because there's just, you want to read books for no reason. There's a reason for all of it. Then you're giving yourself a structure, and B'ezrat Hashem, you won't get to such a high level sin. But if there's no structure, and if you're just doing it for, pretty much just because somebody told you to do it, and you don't get your questions answered, eventually you're going to fall off, and Hashem Elohim, what can happen?